now turn up.
What up is Marcus of Dynasty Football Dads? How important are Superflex quarterbacks? Why should you draft them early? We're going to go through some data here, but first, we're giving away a free Jerry Jeudy signed jersey. All you have to do is be a subscriber for a chance to win. When we hit 1K, it'll be one of you guys. So, all right. Superflex quarterbacks. We have a really good class of quarterbacks coming in. Of course, I believe 5 of the first probably 10 picks. And you could say even probably the first 3 picks will be quarterbacks in a lot of different leagues. But let's look at just kind of the startup scenario. Let's look at the startup statistics of why quarterbacks are important. In round 1 of startups, 7 quarterbacks are being taken. So 7 of the first 12 quarterbacks. So you're talking the elite of the elite picks. In redraft, running backs get taken early. That's why they're so valuable. In Dynasty Superflex, it's all about the quarterbacks. 7 of the first 12. And again, some of these quarterbacks are super young. We're talking about like Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson. And then you even have like Pat Mahomes. Like these quarterbacks might be around for 10 years. And that's why it's so important to have quarterbacks. First is their longevity. Their longevity, they are around sometimes between 5 and like 20 years. Let's say Brady and Breeze and stuff like that. So if you have one of these quarterbacks, you might have a good position, like a position that is set for a long period of time. Compared to running backs where you might have 3, 4, 5 different running backs, 6, 7 different running backs in that time frame compared to a quarterback. Like let's think of how long Breeze has been around. I mean, I think he even had like Damian Tomlinson at running back. So you could have had all these different running backs to try to fill in. Also, when you're doing Superflex, you're going to have you have 2 high scoring positions. And it's going to be hard to replace a quarterback, even a bad quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo and stuff, with a wide receiver that's going to perform. Garoppolo that gets like 14 points, a wide receiver that gets 14 points is going to be difficult. So let's look at round 2. Round 2, 2 quarterbacks. Round 3, 0. Round 4, 4. Round 5, 2. Round 6, 6. Round 7, 1. Round 8, 2. So what does that kind of give you kind of a percentage-wise? Well, 9 of 24, after round 2, you have 9 of 24 positional players being quarterbacks. Then 9 of 36, because there's no round 3 quarterbacks right now being taken. 13 of 48. So round 4 is right where Lawrence is being taken. So if you look at actually where Burrow's value is, which is round 2 in startups, and then even Herbert, which is the end of round 1, beginning of round 2-ish area, you're looking at Lawrence right now as being valued at a startup of round 4. And you could easily see him shoot up into these like top 2 rounds easily. I wouldn't be shocked at all by that. And so just seeing that, you could say, okay, well, he's going to be shooting up in value. We'll talk about where the other rookies are, but then you have 15 of 60, so 25% after round 5. So 25% of the players being taken are quarterbacks. And that's still a pretty substantial amount. And then you have round 6, which is 21 of 72, then 22 of 84, 24 of 96, and then 25 of 100. So after the first 100 players, you have a quarter of them still being quarterbacks. And that means almost everyone will have 2 after about round 8, pretty much. After round 8, every team should have 2 in this kind of like theoretical draft. I mean, some people might even have 3 and some people might have 1 and they might be really missing out. So that is how important quarterbacks are. But let's look at actually where some of these Superflex quarterbacks are being taken. You have Wilson and Fields. They're all being taken in about round 6 in startups. So that's kind of this Baker Mayfield area. But let's compare that where to some of the running backs are. The rookie running backs and the Wookie. I guess I can't talk today. Rookie running backs and wide receivers are all being taken in round 7. And if you look at all the quarterbacks, do you think Wilson, Fields, and Baker can be top 20 quarterbacks? I mean, honestly, that's where you have to think about it, because right now they're being drafted between 15 and 22. If you think they can be top 15 quarterbacks, then you are looking at potentially a steal. I mean, 10 quarterbacks kind of taken in the first 3 rounds here. That you're talking about a top 3 round dynasty startup, and you're being able to trade those for really good running backs and wide receivers that are already established. And there's always a risk when drafting running backs and wide receivers. There's always a bust rate. No one's ever super safe. You could have the Corey Davises of the world, the Mike Williams, There's so many different wide receivers that have ended up busting out or just not performing to the level that you want. They end up being top 30 wide receivers, but never top 15, 20 wide receiver. And then you have even running backs. Like I always say, like, even look at Rashad Penny, even like the Sony Michel is still up there running back. I mean, I'm just trying to think of CEH might be the next thing. Like, there's always running backs. There's always running backs. There's Trent Richardson. There's all these different running backs in the past that if you draft early, and ultimately they could be a bust situation, or they burn out. They burn bright and then they burn out quick. So super flex quarterbacks are so important in Dynasty. They are the number one asset, and that is why when I do mock drafts, when I'm going to be doing rankings after the rookie season, guess what's going to be the top couple picks? It's going to be quarterbacks. Lawrence is going to be 101. It's easily going to be Wilson, Fields, and Lance and stuff like that in the top 2, 3, 4 here. And Mac Jones, even though he's not necessarily maybe a great fantasy quarterback, he'll be a decent quarterback. He'll still be a up there quarterback. Just looking at these stats, I go, okay, well, do I think Mac Jones can be a top 20 quarterback? Well, maybe if he's borderline, we're looking at him being right around this round 6, round 7, which is right into these kind of running backs that are rookies and rookie wide receivers. Of course, some of these rookie running backs and wide receivers, when they perform, they're going to move up because like DeAndre Swift and J.K. Dobbins and stuff, they're around like 3-ish in the startup area. So we have to know that, and CH and stuff like that are a little bit lower. So I suggest looking at doing just mocking some Superflex startups just to see where some of these values are, because I think it's going to be super important to kind of dictate, okay, well, where are the values of some of these rookies just in with each other, because you're going to see that quarterbacks go early and they go a lot, and all of a sudden these rookies have already moved up in these Dynasty drafts, these Superflex drafts. Just wait until they actually hit a team and you actually see Zach Wilson going to the Jets or something like that. Then they're even going to move up further, and I could see them being round 4, round 5 already, and then Lawrence even moving up further. So again, this is Marcus with Dynasty Football Dads, where we do daily Dynasty videos. This is Jerry G signed jersey. When we hit 1K, which hopefully is here soon, we'll be giving it away to one of you guys. All right, peace out, take care.
Now turn up.